Hello my friend, I hope you've had a wonderful July and found some time to put your feet up and take some time for yourself because you deserve it. And if you haven't had the best July but you just want to escape the doom and gloom for a little bit, firstly, you're not alone, and secondly, I've got you covered. I've just finished gathering a bunch of stories that I hope will have you feeling a bit more optimistic about our planet by the end of this video. And if you want to help spread the good news, tapping that like button is a free and easy way to help spread the good in the algorithm. And technically, it's a tiny bit of exercise tapping that button, so it's good for you too. Anyway, let's get right into it. Here's some good news from July that you might have missed. A former animal testing lab in Oklahoma has been transformed into an animal sanctuary called Freedom Fields. This transformation is led by the Beagle Freedom Project, a non-profit organisation dedicated to rescuing and rehoming animals used in laboratory testing. The organisation took over the 30-acre property and rescued over 200 dogs, cats and even a family of 6 pigs from the facility, which was known for testing flea and tick products on animals. Freedom Fields will provide thorough medical care, safe habitats and plenty of space for the animals to roam and recover from their past traumas. Sweden has announced a landmark ban on bottom trawling, making it the first EU country to prohibit this harmful fishing practice in all its territorial waters. Bottom trawling involves dragging heavy nets along the seafloor, which destroys marine habitats and captures many unintended sea creatures. This ban aims to protect marine ecosystems, supporting the recovery of endangered species like the eastern Baltic cod, and improve overall ocean health. Next, Sweden will develop and implement strategies to ensure compliance and monitor the recovery of its beautiful marine life. California is making a huge leap towards clean energy with a new geothermal power plant that could power 350,000 homes. This major advancement comes from using new drilling methods that significantly cut costs and increase efficiency. Geothermal power plants work by tapping into the natural heat from hot underground rocks and reservoirs to generate electricity. They operate like traditional power plants in the sense that they offer a constant and reliable energy source. The company behind this innovation, Fervo Energy, has adapted techniques from the oil and gas industry to harness underground heat more effectively. Their new power plant, Cape Station in Utah, is set to be fully operational by 2028. Experts say that while solar panels, wind turbines and batteries can take us most of the way to 100% clean energy, geothermal can help tackle the final stretch. Simply put, geothermal rocks. Get it? If you love coffee and/or chocolate, then I've handpicked these next couple of stories just for you. But if you don't like coffee or chocolate, then who even are you? Scientists have developed a chocolate that's healthier, more sustainable and tastes just as good. The new type of chocolate makes use of more parts of the cocoa fruit, such as the pulp and the outer shell inside the husk, which not only reduces waste but also increases the fibre content of the chocolate by 20% and lowers the saturated fat by 30%. This innovative recipe will help farmers generate more income and could reduce the amount of land needed for producing dark chocolate. According to EcoWatch, trained panellists from the Bern University of Applied Scientists were tasked with tasting the chocolates from the study experiments to help find the right balance. I can think of worse jobs, can't you? A Seattle-based startup has developed a method to produce coffee without using coffee beans and reduce deforestation from coffee production by 50%. According to World Coffee Research, by the year 2050, more than half the land currently used for growing coffee could become unsuitable due to rising temperatures, unpredictable rainfall, and an increase in diseases and pests. So scientists at Atomos Coffee came up with a beanless coffee that's made from widely sourced farm-grown superfoods and upcycled ingredients such as date seeds, sunflower, guava and lemon. This innovative process also slashes carbon emissions by up to 83% and uses 70% less land. Whilst we're talking about coffee, over in Taiwan, a barista named Chang Chi Min is turning used coffee grounds into various recycled products. His creations include mosquito-repelling incense, charcoal and soaps, all made from coffee byproducts. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know I feature a few ideas that utilise used coffee grounds such as permafungi in Belgium, who use them to grow mushrooms with, and coffee craze from Colombia, who make coffee cups just like this one out of old coffee. And these videos have actually got me in the mood for a coffee, so while I go and make one, I'm going to pass you over to Kate from Save the Wye, who's going to tell you all about their important campaign to help save one of the UK's most beautiful rivers.
Hey Sam, it's Kate here from Save the Wye. We've been campaigning for the last 5 years to save our beautiful River Wye from being destroyed by pollution. largely agricultural pollution. And although we've done an amazing job in raising awareness of the problems facing this absolutely beautiful river, unfortunately, not enough action has been taken so far to save it. We've recently launched our Manifesto for the Wye, which is a detailed action plan to restore the river, and we're asking every candidate in the 4 constituencies along the river to endorse this. If you want to help, follow us on social media channels and you'll be able to find out how.
So, I'm still waiting for my coffee to brew, but whilst we wait, and as we're talking about rivers already, let me take you across the pond to the United States, where I have a massive success story for you. The Maple River in northern Michigan is flowing freely for the first time in decades, thanks to the Conservation Resource Alliance, who pulled off a series of dam and culvert removals. It's said to be the first river in the United States that's returned to its natural state. The river had been blocked by outdated infrastructure which impeded fish passage and caused water warming and flooding. The removal of these barriers, including the significant Lake Kathleen Dam, has revitalised the habitat, aiding endangered species like the Hungerford's crawling water beetle. Okay, the coffee's done, and if you're a fan of the animal kingdom, you'll absolutely love the next few stories. But before I jump into them, I just want to say a big thank you to you, the person watching this, and everyone who left lovely comments on the last video. I try to reply to as many as I can, and I proper appreciate it, and I appreciate you liking, commenting, and watching these videos, and helping to amplify the good going on in the world. So cheers, my friend. So our last 2 stories were about rivers, so let's start our next story with some ecosystem engineers who help our rivers thrive. Beavers are back in the big city, and early evidence shows they're now thriving. The busy builders were reintroduced into London last October for the first time in 400 years as part of a volunteer-run project led by Ealing Wildlife Group, supported by the Beaver Trust. Those behind it hope the beavers will have a positive impact on the local environment and claim they're already seeing good results. That's because beavers are a keystone species and can help with things like alleviating flooding while boosting biodiversity. They could even prevent the need to spend thousands on flood-resistant infrastructure and save us money too. Wild horses have returned to the plains of Kazakhstan after a 2-century absence, thanks to the Altai Dala Conservation Initiative. The horses are being monitored closely with measures in place to ensure their adaptation, including habitat management and protection from poaching too. One of the world's rarest cats, the Iberian lynx, is no longer classed as endangered, according to a report by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Biologists have developed mini med spa shelters for frogs to help them fight off a deadly fungal disease that has caused drastic declines in amphibian populations. These low-cost, sunlight-warm shelters enable frogs to raise their body temperature, killing the fungus and boosting their immunity, providing a promising tool for saving these beautiful creatures. Growing up, frogs were like my favourite things. I'd spend hours in the garden searching for them, and when I found them trying to make a little pond habitat for them in plastic containers, they'd always jump out and leave. But anyway, I absolutely loved them, so I was buzzing to come across a positive frog story. Next, there was a massive climate win here in the UK, but I'm going to let Sarah Finch, a passionate campaigner who helped make this win a reality, tell you all about it.
Hello, my name's Sarah Finch and I'm a climate campaigner with the Weald Action Group. So for nearly 5 years I was fighting a legal case against oil production at Horse Hill in Surrey. We argued that the permission for this big development and 20 years of oil production was unlawful because the council had completely ignored the climate impact of burning the oil when they gave permission for it to be extracted from the ground. We went up through the whole court system and eventually in June this year we won a victory in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court agreed with us that the emissions from burning fuel must be assessed as part of the planning process for producing fuel. On the basis of my win, the government has agreed that the permissions for another oil site in Lincolnshire and for a large deep coal mine in Whitehaven in Cumbria were also unlawful, and we hope that this will apply to other sites that are subject to legal challenges too, including the giant Rosebank oil and gas field in the North Sea. So it's a huge win for the climate, and it just started out as a fight against one little site in Surrey.
Moving on to another story about an amazing individual, Ben Kilner from East Sussex is taking a 150-mile trip across Scotland using an amphibious bicycle canoe he built himself to raise money for the charity A Leg to Stand On. Starting from Fort William, Ben will paddle to Inverness and then cycle back, showcasing his unique bicycle canoe made from 3.5 bikes with a canoe attached. Ben is raising funds for A Leg to Stand On, a charity providing wheelchairs and prosthetics to children in developing countries. Now for this round of quickfire good news stories, I thought I'd do something a little bit different, a little bit of an Ask the Audience segment where I ask you if there's been any good news stories from your country. So I did a Q&A on my Instagram story, and here are some of your stories. Indian Railways have achieved railway electrification over 90%. Yes, so India has electrified 45% of its railways in just 5 years, which brings the total to 94% electrification across the whole country. And now rail electrification in India is happening 9 times faster than it was a decade ago. Sweden just planted extinct fish back into Göta älv, I don't know how to pronounce that. Yes, Atlantic sturgeon have been returned to the Göta River in Sweden after becoming extinct from the area about 70 years ago due to overfishing and poor water quality. 100 juvenile Atlantic sturgeons were released to help revitalise the river's ecosystem and restore this keystone species, thanks to Rewilding Europe's support. Solar prices are still getting even cheaper every year as more people use them. Yep, the price of solar continues to drop as new research shows solar panel prices have decreased by around 20% each time the global capacity has doubled. Vermont decided to hold fossil fuel companies accountable. Yet so Vermont has passed a new bill called the Climate Superfund Act, which could force fossil fuel companies to pay for damages caused by climate change, such as wildfires or flooding. The bill aims to recognise the historic role many of these companies played in concealing the environmental harm that burning fossil fuels could have. And the last one is dedicated to my sister, who absolutely loves puffins and sent me this. Puffin numbers on Scotland's Isle of May have increased by around a third since 2017, with an estimated 52,000 occupied burrows compared to 39,000 in the last survey. This success is thanks to a period of high breeding success, so it looks like the puffins have been busy huffing and puffing. And that is all, my friend, and I hope you're feeling slightly better than you did at the start of this video. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe and bell icon to keep the good news on your feed. Last month, over 87% of people who watch my videos weren't subscribed, so if that subscribe button is still untapped, give it a little tap for me and I'll do my best to do your follow justice. And if the summer heat has got to you and you're feeling super generous, consider supporting me over on my Patreon, like these lovely folk beside me are, and this helps me continue to make these videos. See you soon, my friend.